Mystery Mousecatoo. Yay! Annette? Nice. That's awesome. Sheep. Ah. Ah. Ba. Ba 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 da ba da bo. Ba. Do you see a sheep? Oh, sheep. Ba. Sheep. Hi. We got him. Hi. Hi, hi. That was very cool. Mozart, baby. Wow. Hi. Ba. Hard to have a conversation if no one talks. And we've already tried me telling you what I think. Doesn't work that way. Bah. Mm. Mm. Problem solved. They might be giants made this song, Hot Dog, but kind of crazy. Yo, Bobby. Yo, Bobo. Barbarino. Bobby Bros. My man Bobo. It's an old Hugh Fink bit about like line coaches in baseball, like the first base coach. Let's go, Bobo. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go, Barbarino. All right. I guess it's also like a Rob Snyder bit too, which is not good for no one. Mickey Mouse Club. How you guys doing this afternoon / morning? It's probably morning. It's not noon yet. So, how you doing this morning? You having a good time out there? If you're in Springfield, Missouri, you can see me perform live. We'll be there Friday and Saturday. Pretty fun. Be on the Lost Comedy Tour. Right now, I got kicked off TikTok. They're pretty particular about things. So, I came here. I actually have more followers on here. My most followers are on Facebook because I'm a boomer. And I'll be booming it. So some of my friends got to change. She's not a big fan of Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel's a bland entertainer anymore. It's a good person to break out in entertainment, but you need to remember that. Bluey hits hard. You never just writing a joke, you just mention Bluey. Fucking adults go mad. They're like, oh my god, he knows about Bluey? Bluey's the best. My daughter hates Bluey. I love Bluey. I think it's hilarious. And I love to watch more Bluey, but my daughter hates it. We're doing a lot of things here. Basically, what we're doing is you can ask me about stand-up comedy below. You can roast me. You can ask me to roast yourself, or you can give me a topic where I could try to make a joke and fail miserably in front of you, or succeed, maybe put it in my act. We can all go through the whole ins and outs of stand-up comedy, or you could just sit here and like goof off. That's what I do too. It's amazing. I write jokes all day, try to do the best. A YouTuber plays with a pineapple. She's like, that's it. Did you see how that pineapple went bloop, bloop, bloop? Ah, ha, ha, ha. That's comedy. I'm going to start looking at the camera. Every time I look at the camera, the viewers drop. I get the hint. You do not like the facial hair. I understand. All right, we got a new comment. Wet nose. Dustin's wet nose. Wet nose, and for the human, a misdemeanor or felony in some states. So That's what we call a bonus in the biz. That's what we call a bonus in the biz, Dustin. When you get a charge, I can tell you a joke. I'll tell you a joke. This is real life. When I travel around, sometimes I don't know if, like, when I get pulled over, I've been a dirtbag most of my life, so I immediately think I'm going to get pulled over. Or did I pay those tickets? Do I have a warrant? I don't know. So I immediately, I'm not driving because I don't have a license. Who would have thought? So I look at the buddy who's usually driving. I go, "Hey man, sorry, but I'm gonna act like I'm asleep. I'm gonna play dead right here." Well, I did that one time. I was like, "Yeah, we got pulled over." I was like, "Dude, sorry, I don't know if I have a warrant or not. I'm gonna fall asleep." Pretend to be asleep so he doesn't mess with me. So I pretend to be asleep. But I keep hearing the knocking on the glass. Well, apparently it was such a good idea the driver thought to do it too. So it looks like both of us are fucking asleep in the front seat. Yeah. Yeah. We got woke up and sent to a new facility, that's for sure. So that didn't work out so much that day. But hey, you pick your friends and you pay for your comedy friends, especially if you're a producer. So you kind of yin or yang. I can tell you about the worst shows I've ever had. One of the worst shows I ever had, a comic from out of St. Louis, his name's Gary Becker, decided to take a bunch of LSD and threaten to fight a small town in southern Illinois. He told one of the hecklers, because he wasn't doing that good that night. None of us were. It was kind of an off show. And he told one of the hecklers, "Bring all your boys. I'm an MMA fighter. I'll mess you all up." And he brought all his boys, grabbed him by his dreads, threw him around. So after the cops showed up, a gun was there. There was a gun. The liquor license got pulled. A high-speed chase. That's probably the worst show I've ever had. I talk more in depth in the worst show ever part. It's a 5-part series on my shorts. I don't know, Dustin. Have you ever asked? Like, as long as your nails are, it's like picking your friend's nose is like, rounding the bases with the ladies. As long as you got good trimmed nails, you may be surprised about the answer. Maybe you can go in there and pick that nose. I wouldn't, no. Kids. She's adorable. Be in Springfield, Missouri this weekend. Yeah, that happened. We actually have had a good run of shows. Right after Matt Rife broke out, that's when comedy got just unbearable. Everyone wanted comedy to be personally tailored to them, and they thought everything was a town hall meeting. Hey guys, let's talk to the comic. Let's help the comic. No comic likes heckling. If you think you're helping the show, just help yourself out of the show. Dear Lord, I hate people like that. Dislike them greatly. Hey, I thought you needed some help up there. Yeah. I needed help from Bob from Irwood, Illinois. I needed your help, Bob. I don't know what I've been doing the last 9 years until you came along. Thank goodness you said you called me a derogatory statement up on stage. You were helping, not disrupting my time. Sometimes it's hard to get mad at the friendly hecklers that just talk. You're doing great. Keep going. Yeah, I wasn't. What, did I look like I was going to have a heart attack right now? Was I falling over? Was I sweating too much? No. My plan was to keep. I appreciate the reinforcement, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I grew up with a series of stepdads and an insensitive mother, so getting support feels like, what's your alternative motive here? What's going on? I'll take out the trash. Just leave me alone. I'm trying to do the work here. But roasted me, I'll roast you. Give me a topic to joke. If you want to make a joke, we could do that too. It's basically whatever you want to do. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's right. If you didn't notice, I'm a published poet. Got published in 5th grade. Young Poets of Illinois, 2005. It's out of print, but you totally find it. I booked over, mostly I do bar shows and self-produced route. I do comedy clubs, but I basically live in a cornfield in the middle of southern Illinois. So, like, civilization, aka comedy clubs, don't really just pop up like corn around here, so to speak. So, I tended to bring the stage to me, and it's just worked out that way. Mostly when you do independent comedy, you kind of alienate yourself anyways, because comedy clubs consider you competition. So, and that is true. You are siphoning off what other people might go to see for your show. So I do understand that to some extent. So, wow, funny about the biz, huh? About the biz. But yeah, I do mostly independent bar comedy. Some of my inspirations in that would definitely be your 80s comics. I think they did comedy wherever. You can hear some of the stories about Bill Hicks and Sam Kinison where they do comedy. I tend to like that more, mostly because of the real non-scripted nature of it. When you go to a comedy club, you will get a TV polished act most of the time, and there is pros and cons to each one, I think. But like if you're comedy clubs, if you're trying to get into it, comedy clubs will help you better than being an independent artist any day. That's just facts. Independent artists, it's really hard to learn stuff on your own. You'll have to learn the hard way, and that means by making mistakes and making a fool of yourself. So when you have a comedy club, you can maybe find a mentor or someone to maybe help you out a little bit. When you're running the whole damn show, it's really hard. They look at you at the boss, so you gotta do a lot more. So that's what sucks too. A lot of people ask like, why don't you get good video? Most bars are lit by Miller Lite and Bud Light signs and dingy. And also, I'm not only performing, I'm producing, working the door, talking to the venue people. So it's like the last thing I could think of, I want to give them a good performance rather than worry about me. So yeah, always video and camera seems to be the least on it. But I do have some, if you check out my YouTube, you'll have some full length sets there. So I just recently did this hair thing. Wife is, it's basically going to be a vagina drought for the next, I will say it's going to take 3 months for this to grow in. So yeah, it's going to be a drought till this gets watered and fertilized and grow faster. I had an idea how to help with that, but she wasn't buying that either. So looks like we're just going to have time on our side. Thank God we got a new couch, right? So I said I did a thing. She thought I, maybe, did something she wanted me to do, like fix the shelf, fix the door, the million things that need to be done around here. Now I shaved a landing strip so food can get in my mouth better. Mustache mutton. I look like an awful, forgettable president from the 19th century. Someone said a diabetic Seamus too, and I thought that was good. When this used to be in, I was getting you remind me of Louis, and I was God ruined that. People are saying you remind me of some of the greatest comic of all time. I have to shave it, and now I look like a fat wrestler. Yay! That's comedy. That's comedy. I look like Wolverine gave up. A ginger Wolverine. Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Storm's got it. So, you guys are pretty silent out there, but I appreciate talking. It's me just talking in the void. I thank you. If you want to like, you can. Share to your enemies. One, share to your friends. You might lose some friends, but if you don't like someone, share it to them. Ruin their day. Well, so I got a show in Springfield, Missouri, 66 Kicks Friday at 8 p.m. in the Vault, 8 p.m. Springfield, Missouri. Check that out. You can check out their Facebook or contact the venue for more ticket information. I believe it's free, but we would love to come out. I'm on the Lost Comedy Tour. It's a subshoot of the Good Old Boys of Comedy, Good Old Boys of Comedy troupe that I made. Me, Josh Reynolds, and Louis Ariano. Before Trump deports him January 20th, we'll be doing the shows. That's a joke. That's a joke. We hope it's a joke. We hope it's a joke. Now, Louis is a very funny guy. We've been doing this as our we did Alleviated, dropped the Good Old Boys name because it was bringing in a different perspective. A lot of people thought got too much into what it meant. The Good Old Boys of Comedy was mostly because we're all from not in the city. And when we would show up to the city or do shows around the city, St. Louis particular, or any city, they'd say, "Oh, those good old boys are doing comedy again." So we just used it as a marketing toy, um, marketing tool. So I did the Good Old Boys of Comedy, and we ran that for 3 or 4 years. But then it was weird because we'd get some unsavory folks to show up. You could probably guess, which put Louise in danger sometimes. And then one time they took it way too hard. They thought we had the priest of a town and his congregation show up, and we just ruined their December. I remember that very much. So yeah, good stuff there. But we're on our Lost Comedy Tour that goes from January to middle of May. I'm also, you can check out Vibe Fest. I got this. You can guess it's a pro enthusiastic 420 fest, and you can see that. I believe it's in Somerville, Missouri. That'll be June 2021st. Vibe Fest. Come see some good artists and some good comedy. I'll be also doing a DJ set that'll be appropriate for the festival. So hope you guys are having a good time. Tea party, let's have a tea party. Tea party. It takes really hard. Like developing a set's probably the hardest thing. Because some jokes you really like this is gonna do great, and then you perform it and it doesn't do great, and that can rattle your whole set, throw you off real quick. Wow. I could talk about some things. I ate some chicken earlier. I didn't want you to see me pick my crooked Arkansas type teeth here. It looks like I brew my meth using my teeth. Yeah. I did comedy when I started at about late 26, 27. I went to the Heavy Anchor in St. Louis. They have a big open mic night, and there was a comic. Well, he's not a comic anymore, but he was doing stand-up comedy, and I had him take me, and I did fairly well. Even the host said I did fairly well for the first time, so I was like, cool. So I went and decided me and him self-produce a show, which means he pulled a Ben Affleck and sat on the couch and did nothing, and I did everything. So after I realized I didn't need him, I just started booking shows. I had a monthly show first in my town, and then another bar asked me if I could do it for them. And I was like, I felt so stupid. I was like, I could do that? So I did that. And I started just doing small amateur to pro stand-up comedy shows. And just started leveling up from there and learning from experience. While I was doing that, I was also developing my set, learning how to do comedy, which is probably not productive on each. Don't do that. If in hindsight, I should have probably went to more open mics to get myself prepared for the show. Um, just for what I said earlier. Sometimes you think a joke's going real good, or even you test it out to random people and you think it's going to go, and then you finally do it, and it's just not the reaction you think. It can really mess with you a little bit. So it's always, if people are coming to see a showcase, a good show, be prepared. And for some reason, I thought as a host, you had to be least prepared. Well, no, being a host of a stand-up comedy show is almost, it's the second most important job, sometimes the most important job. So I got really good at hosting stand-up comedy shows. I can host my fucking dick off, and have, because I got a fupa now. And then I slowly just transitioned to a headliner. Right now, I work with people that can all do 30 plus minutes. I do around 40, 45, and we just go out there and have fun. And it does very well. We were in the Rusty Gator Fork and Ale in Bedford, Indiana last weekend, and that was amazing. Usually I go from where I'm at in a 500-mile radius, and that's usually where I start booking shows. We would love to go cross country, but we got families, man. You know, everyone wants to dream, but it's literally living in a van down by the river to go through all that sometimes. So, whoa, yeah, LA night, y'all. So, comedy topics usually range, how I get my jokes usually range from just everyday life. I am a hard person to make happy, and I always look at what's the catch. So I usually write my jokes in a pessimistic or observational way. And then sometimes I write jokes leaning into the way I look, because I know I tend to look like the worst stepdad, the worst Tim Allen sitcom stepdad ever. So I try to lean into that and not being too intelligent, which it's not like I got proof saying the other. My name is misspelled on my GED. So I kind of play into those with real life experiences. The best way I could sum up is how to live like a modern day man in this fucking world. Because it's crazy. I'm not saying it's hard. It's just different. Like the men that raised me, I had 3 stepdads named Ed and 1 named Greg. Because my mom was weird. My mom's nickname was Eddie. So like, there's a lot of Eds going around, and then rhyming with Greg. Ed was Greg. So I don't know. You can't make that up. But I don't know where I was going with that. The rhyming. I just realized Ed and Greg. I was like, geez, it's ridiculous. But I just make jokes from that. With them growing up and doing all that stuff, they were kind of emotionless. They didn't have to be there, and it's different being a father now, stand-up comic, being supportive to a wife, being supportive to a son, and that's where my comedy lies. I think I'm going to have to get off here. It's been 30 minutes. I got 5% on my phone. Unless you guys don't, I can go and get a charger. We'll see how it goes. But I just appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you. We did a 30-minute sesh. You coming in. You can definitely follow me more. I'll do more lives sporadically through here, just talking about comedy or doing some gaming or whatever I want. I'm really just trying to get some more followers and spark some content and inspiration. If you want to check out some of my stuff, you can check out the 100 short episodes of the Helen series. Very funny stuff. It only takes about 20 minutes. And then you can also check out full-length stand-up performances on my YouTube. I highly suggest uh, Lost in Blue Mound, Illinois, and Riffing for My Life at a Failed Bob Evans in front of 13 people. I think is the title. Watch those two. You're bound to have a good time. So I'm going to get off here, guys. I appreciate it. You've been very cool. I'll swing back in, but check out some of that other stuff if you're intrigued, want to know more. I'll be back tonight after 7 p.m. Central, and we'll talk some more. So if you want to see that, just chime in, put me in the background. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.